rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see all of you fine people this morning. Rickles, happy Wednesday. Yes, it is. Woohoo. Let's get whiz, people. Good morning, Jim. Elka, how you doing? Happy Witch, how you doing? Good to see you. I have my favorites. Oh my gosh. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it is a hump day, isn't it? Oh, I love the mornings. It's so fun. Rosella, how you doing, man? Look at you with your blue tape man suit. Gosh. Oh, I love it. I love it. I live in the burbs. In fact, there goes some more. I love it. Fallen Hero 4567. Good to see you. And all I can say is
welcome to the
yet again.
Every single day.
A new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. Yeah, it all over again. What a morning it's gonna be. Nancy, good to see you. Oh my Lord Almighty. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh yes, yes. Happy. Hello. I'm so happy. So very happy. Oh my gosh. Yes, it is gonna be a good morning. We're gonna have a little fun this morning. Oh man, I can't believe these kinds of things. Yes. These mornings are the kind of mornings that I really get a kick out of. Because in case you guys have not heard, it's so unfortunate that the Greta says, okay, who did the drone strike on Greta's Gaza flotilla? It's somebody did something very naughty, and I need to know who did it. I'm very serious here. If I don't get an answer, nobody gets anything to eat before dinner except for some light snacks around 3 and cocktails at 5, of course. I'm not a monster. So I just read this morning that some terrible but perhaps clever person did a small drone strike on the lead toxic mood of toxic pixie and part-time female He-Man impersonator Greta Thunberg's happy, fun Hamas terrorist relief flotilla. Or did they? According to the flotilla, one of the vessels was struck by a drone on Tanzanian waters, and that investigation is currently underway, and when more information is available, it will be released immediately. Stick a pin on that drone for a moment. Officially called the Global Summoned Flotilla, Greta's Gaza blockade buster collection of ships is reported to be the largest effort of its kind. The most recent reports indicate that the flotilla consists of more than 50 vessels from 44 countries. Its sponsors include the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, the Global Movement to Gaza, the SAG Maraba, and something. Well, I plugged in Summit and to Google Translate the best answer I came up with was it gave me Summit as the Filipino Sumid. I swear I'm not making this up. So I tried again with ChatGPT and learned that sumid, or some Arabic thing, is Arabic for steadfastness or perseverance. I did not ask either platform what the Arabic is for my boat is on fire. During my research, I also learned that Sumid became popular idea during the Six-Day War in 1967 refers to the idea of enduring and resisting under occupation and adversary, not only through armed struggle, but also through simply remaining on the land. But, maybe a little armed struggle, and judging by their Six-Day War activities, 19 metric butt tons of terrorism. These are all pro-Palestinian groups that, in the writer's opinion, should be considered objectively pro-terrorist, to paraphrase George Orwell's estimation of British pacifists in the face of Yahtzee aggression. And by attempting to break the blockade, the groups aim to be materially pro-terrorist too. Vessels taking part in the flotilla launched last late month are gathering in the Mediterranean before attempting to break Israel's blockade of the Gaza coast as the IDF fights there to eliminate Hamas and attempting to, remove the threat from another October 7th style terror invasion. Well, Thunberg serves as the flotilla's public face, and I know, right? Now that we've met Greta's merry band of maritime martyrs, here's the juicy bit. While the group claimed it was a drone attack, new video shows the crew members aboard the so-called family boat were misfiring a flare and started the fire. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing. Remember, the neighbors won't take in the Palestinians. Yeah. So they set their boat on fire and start claiming they've been hit. Because they don't know how to put out a fire? Yeah, that was really smart of them. And it says, Emily Schrader says, oops, footage from Greta's boat shows a crew member misfiring a flare which lands back on the boat. Meanwhile, they're claiming they were attacked by a drone. Tragedy, tourists cosplaying as victims. There are no reports of injuries or deaths, and the Tanzanian authorities say there was zero drone activity in the area. Even before the flare video came out, I had my doubts. It was just going by what we saw in Doha, Qatar on Tuesday. The Israelis blew up a Hamas meeting, reportedly taking out much of the group's senior leadership, which, when those tricky Israelis want to blow something up, they blow it up real good. What we have here is a false flag summit press release meant to drum up sympathy for Hamas while, of course, generating even more hatred for the Jews, because that's what the world really needs here. But just in case there was ever a genuine attempt by some naughty person or persons to disrupt the happy, fun Hamas terrorist relief flotilla, I have to know who, because I'll buy the cocktails and I won't even make them wait until 5 o'clock. Steve from the Vodka Pundit wrote that wonderful story. It was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing because, you know, there's other videos out there. There's other videos out there about this, and it actually shows quite a bit more because they have other shots of it, believe it or not. It's quite amazing that these fools, they decided to cause a problem. I'll show you. This is from a different angle. Here we go. This is from a different angle right here. Yeah. They fired a flare up in the air and it came right back and hit them. I'd hate to be the one who insured that boat. Well, don't worry. They're from one of those countries where, you know, the whole population pays for it. It's, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they fired on themselves. They fired a flare up in the air and it came right back and hit them. Hit them right in the yes. They were never attacked. Just like, you idiots. You idiots. Now, how many news stations are going to cover this kind of stuff? I mean, they'll just be like, oh, I hate to be the one who hired the idiots. Yeah, like in The Last Crusade, when Indy's father accidentally shoots the tail off Jerome Lane. Dad, where we at? Exactly. Yeah, we're going down. Oh, God. It's so amazing. They blame Israel for their own stupidity, but we did come up with it's actually this is the true story of what happened. Hit the deck. We're under attack, cries Greta Thunberg as frozen burrito explodes in the microwave. The Mediterranean Sea terror-struck humanitarian mission on its way to Gaza as the crew and passengers of the Global Summit flotilla reported a loud, jarring noise accompanied by a bright flash of light and heat, leading them to believe that the doom was imminent. While anchored off the coast of Tunisian port, professional activist Greta Thunberg was heard by witnesses shouting for others on board to seek immediate shelter in an attempt to find safety from what was believed to be a military strike on the flotilla. Hit the deck. We're under attack. Greta cried. Engage all defensive measures. Full anchor. Load the starboard cannons and get to your stations. The crisis was averted, however, when it was discovered that the commotion had been caused by a frozen burrito exploding in the galley microwave. Turns out it wasn't a drone attack after all, says another passenger. Sven got hungry and popped a bean and cheese burrito into the microwave and had set the timer for too long. He said he got distracted playing Uno with the crew and forgot about the burrito. It totally sounded like a missile strike when it blew, though. Thunberg later made a public statement on the incident. This changes nothing, she said. We will not be deterred by exploding burritos. We will continue our voyage to Gaza to provide the aid needed by the Palestinian peoples. Burritos have now been banned from the flotilla. No more burritos. At publishing time, Thunberg had alleged that the exploding burrito in question had been planted on board the vessel by Israelis in an attempt to prevent it from reaching its destination. I'm the captain now, Wes. Good to see you. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist the Babylon Bee. No, that is a satire story. Oh my gosh. The bee just makes me laugh. Democrats condemn stabbing victims for inflating crime numbers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, Democrat lawmakers responded to the fatal stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee aboard the Charlotte light rail by condemning all stabbing victims for inflating crime numbers. Furthermore, Democrats are calling on stabbing victims to stop dying, arguing that their deaths make soft on crime policies look soft on crime. If you're going to be stabbed to death, at least make it look like an accident, Charlotte Mayor V. Lies urged her citizens. Stabbing arrests unfairly and affect I've got some my dogs are losing their mind. Hold on a second. Seeing if anything interesting is happening. No, nothing interesting. Just dogs losing their minds. Gotta love that. Oh, I'm muted because my dogs are losing their minds. They're barking like crazy. I was just checking the cameras to make sure. According to sources, stabbing victims attract a lot of attention due to the violent nature of the crime, and that makes it really hard for Democrats to spin the story in their favor, at least if it's a gun week and complain about gun control. Senator Chuck Schumer, what am I supposed to do with stabbing victims? Wish them a swift recovery? Vice President J.D. Vance criticized Democrats for victim blaming. I should stab them all and see how they think it feels. Wait, don't print that. He said. At publishing time, Democrats announced that they stand in solidarity with all stabbers who have unfairly faced bigotry and hostility from the community. Oh, the Babylon Bee. They just hit a spot in my heart that just makes me laugh just so much. Oh my, that poor burrito. Yes, it's all the burrito's fault. Blame the burrito. Don't blame them. The sound should be back on though. The sound should be back on. That's not the bee has the slug story. I bet it does, Raz. They got all kinds of stuff in there. The bee gives me humor on days like today. So much on days like today. It is found that we've had some just crazy stuff happening over the past few days. I know what I was looking for. Let me see. I had something. Let me see if it's actually here. And there it is. I'm sorry. All right, let me see. Let's see if we can find that story. All right, let's see. I find some of the craziest stuff here. Right now, I want to blame Baker for this one because it's so hilarious. Oh, it's so hilarious! It gives me the giggles. gives me the giggles. Wife kills me. Ding dong, ditch slug. we need knife control to keep idiots out of the kitchen. No, they need to be back in the kitchen. What are you saying? What are you saying? Okay, this one right here. Over 350 Greenlandic women and girls are forcibly given contraception by Danish officials. Well, shame on those Danish officials. I blame Baker for this. Copenhagen, Denmark. More than 350 Greenlandic indigenous women and girls, including some 12 years old and younger, reported they were forcibly given contraception by Danish health authorities in a case that dated to the 1960s. Well, then they are not girls anymore. Some of them are long since gone. That's why whenever you put ding dong, I was like, all right, am I showing my screen? Holy crap. Takeaway shows. And they will keep them in the kitchen. Shame on you, Steven. No, we don't take away the knives from the ladies. Keep it around. I mean, what are they supposed to do if they want to go full on Lorena Bobbitt on your ass? You gotta give them something to work with here. mean, come on. Yeah. Fan what? Mm-hmm. So, Inuit victims, many of them teenagers at the time, were either fitted with uterine contraceptive devices known as UIDs, not to be conferred with IDUs, or given hormonal birth control injection. They were not told details about the procedure and did not give their consent. Well, since when in Denmark do you have to give your consent to anything? They're a socialist country. That's how these things work. The victims described traumatic experience that left some with feelings of shame as well as physical side effects ranging from pain and bleeding to serious infections. Yes, governments of Denmark and Greenland officially apologized in a statement. This was the 1960s. You know, I don't think it's an apology that they're looking for. Or maybe they're looking for, you know, a little bit of the reenactment surgery is called bobbit weave. To get ahead of the highly anticipated report, an official apology event in Greenland's capital is set for September 24th. Nearly 150 Inuit women last year sued Denmark and filed compensation claims against its health ministry, saying Danish health authorities violated their human rights. That case remains ongoing. Good luck winning. Good luck winning. Denmark, I don't know. We'll have to ask Baker about this one. Why are they doing this to their women's? Danish authorities say more than 4,000 women and girls, reportedly half the fertile women in Greenland at the time, received these IUDs between the 60s and the 70s. The alleged purpose was to limit population growth in Greenland by preventing pregnancy. The population on the Arctic island was rapidly increasing at the time because of better living conditions and better health care. Greenland took over its own health care programs on January 1st, 1992. So this was in the 60s and 70s. That's crazy. Take away that medical strip separating the carpet and the linoleums. God, Raz, stop it. Oh, my gosh. And what is this one? Denmark summons U.S. envoy over claims of interference in Greenland. What is the issue that America suddenly has all this interest in Denmark? I don't understand. Denmark's foreign minister summoned the top U.S. diplomat in the country for talks after the main national broadcaster reported Wednesday that at least 3 people with connections to Donald Trump have been carrying out covert influence operations in Greenland. And in a lengthy written statement, the U.S. Department confirmed that the Deputy Chief of Mission in Copenhagen, Mark Stroh, had met with Danish Foreign Ministry and officials that declined to comment on the actions of private U.S. citizens in Greenland. The U.S. government does not control or direct the actions of private citizens, it said. The department said Stroh had a productive conversation reaffirming the strong ties among the government of Greenland, the United States, and Denmark. He said its U.S. values its relationship with both Denmark and NATO ally and Greenland, and noted that Trump and his top aides said they all respect the right of the people of Greenland to determine their own future. So what does this have to do with anything? We need Camp Century back. Yeah. And that looks pretty. Look at that. That is a pretty view. It almost looks like a slightly fairy tale. Stroh is the second American diplomat to be summoned by a European NATO ally this week as the Trump administration shakes up its approach to foreign policy. France, screw France, had called U.S. Ambassador Charles Kushner to its foreign ministry after it sent a letter to French President Emmanuel Macron alleging the country did not do enough to combat anti-Semitism. Trump had repeatedly said he seeks U.S. jurisdiction over Greenland, a vast semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. He had not ruled out military force to take control of the mineral-rich, strategically located Arctic island. Denmark, Greenland have said the island is not for sale and condemned reports of the U.S. gathering intelligence there. Well, see, I don't understand. Where are they getting this stuff from? Because it seems like Greenland's jumping out and saying our land is not for sale, and Trump is like, okay. Like, did anybody really was anybody wanting to buy it? I mean, maybe, I guess, could possibly, but why? I mean, it's got lots of minerals. I mean, just go get the minerals, hire some people to take care of it. I don't know, whatever it is you're going to do. It just amazes me the craziness of these people. But I saw something this morning, and I can't confirm this, but this is really, really strange. Good morning. I'm just me. I hope you are doing well this morning. That is such a beautiful shepherd. I love it. I love it. All right. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Now let's see if this story strikes true or not. Let's find out.
Thank you, Tulsi. And we do want to take questions on this topic while the director has time for this topic. She will leave. I'm happy to take questions on other matters after that. But if anyone has questions for Director Gabbard, you're welcome to ask them. We'll start with our new media seat as always. Emily, go ahead.
Thank you. And Director Gabbard, this one is for you. Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former President Obama?
Correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Oh.
Ed, go ahead.
Director Gabbard, thank you. So
That's interesting.
Two questions, but to begin on that. The president yesterday, you've inferred that the former president helped lead a coup. Based on what you now see, do you believe President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I'm not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence community, the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
The Senate Intelligence Committee spent several years looking into this and unanimously agreed in a bipartisan fashion.
I have a hard time on believing that. I've been up for hours. I'm having a nice cold one. Well, excellent. I hope it is. I hope it is nice and cold. Those days would be wonderful. His lips were moving. Yeah. Well, and you can dislike Trump. You can dislike the Democrats. You can dislike the Republicans. But why can't we just all get along? Like I have a hard time believing in some of this stuff, whether it's true or not, and so I always, like I always say, it's like I may have issue with some of what Democrats do, but I'm married to a Democrat. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, can't you just get along, you people? I don't understand why people have such issues of not being able to, understand how this kind of stuff goes. I mean, be like this guy. All I can say is be like this guy. This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, we're going to point out something here. You see this little chick right here. Okay, right here. She's up in this girl's face. This guy is eating some wonderful Mexican food. He is living life. He's just as happy as can be. And here we go.
No way.
Oh, calls him a cheddar. Calls him a cheddar. Don't y'all know the currency we have is dying? Yes, we know that, Stormy. That is very, very true. The currency we have is disappearing. So good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Now go after Dubai for WMDs in Iraq that they didn't have. Exactly. Well, that's because they used them on their people already. And it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. When you just this chill dude.
Sorry, my ex.
What is she doing here? It's just my ex.
That's normal.
That's good, that's good.
Fuck you!
Insurance is gonna pay for it.
Insurance gonna pay for it.
I just got it too. Right here.
Oh, just got it. What does he do? Just sits there, eats calm.
Yeah. Fuck, this is hot.
This is really good though. Oh, it's hot? Hot?
Depends what. You need hug?
No.
Oh.
Oh my god. I think she's a therapist.
She's gonna need one for sure.
I think she needs a therapist. She's probably gonna need one. Wow. He don't care either. No, it is his car. He just bought it. It's a brand new car. That's his ex that spray painted and is smashing it up. You know why he's calm? Do you know why he's calm? Now think about this. It's pretty easy. She's losing her mind. She's destroying his property. And what's going to happen is she's going to go to jail and she's going to end up having to pay for it. If he gets involved, if he goes over there and pulls her off the car after she destroys it, or you know, or even if she starts destroying it, he's going to get charged with assault. And he's just like, hey, at this point, there's nothing I can do. Let her have at it. Watch.
I mean,
That's it? That's what you can do?
Just like, that's it. That's all you can do. Like, really? I mean, what else is he gonna do? What else is he gonna do? Some folks got issues. Yeah, I've seen this. This is old. Yeah, but that's the way that you deal with it. You know, you just like, okay. It's one of those that you just go, there's nothing more. Good morning, Kippy. Good to see you. Yeah, some folks, man. It's not his circus, not his monkeys. Well, it is, but there's no reason. It's his car. Yeah. She's a loony. Wow, no wonder she is his ex. Yeah. I mean, you know, she's losing her mind over this. And he's like, what am I going to do? You're not going to stop her? Why? I mean, you know, I'll get a new car out of this. She'll be paying for it, you know, like let her spiral. I have a hard time believing the AP some days. Okay, so this is what was supposedly happening in France, and the reason there's a reason why I say this. Okay, now a few years back, I was in France with the wife. It was actually during Bastille Day, and we were kicking back, watching fireworks, and it was a beautiful evening, hanging out with. I think there was some. I would say 20-ish kids or something like that were, you know, smoking cigarettes, and they asked if they could like squeeze past us because they wanted to sit on the other side of this bridge. And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, have a good one, kick back, you know. And so they were just sort of like sitting on the other side, sitting on the thing, and, you know, chatting with them and stuff. You know, they were just, you know, they actually can speak pretty good English in Paris. And so as I'm getting on, what was it? I think it was I got back to the room and opened up Twitter, and all of a sudden all these things were coming across: riots in France, mass arrests. And I'm looking, and I was like, really? I was like, that bridge right there is the same bridge that I was sitting on. And you see all these people being arrested. I was like, this has got to be old. You probably go back in my timeline and see whenever that day was, you know. And I think I posted something about it. I was like, no, listen, I was right there. I was right there. There was there was no protest. There was no arrest. Like, they had a military parade, and people came by, you know, that had just finished the parade. You know, some people that were dressed in uniforms, they came walking by, and they headed on to their thing. They weren't being harassed. People cleared the way for them. And everybody was pretty chill. I was like, what are they talking about? There's mass riots going on in France. So I don't know. Maybe there were. Like, sometimes these pictures can be really deceiving. of what is actually happening, or it's in a secluded area that's completely away, or some of them are old. Now AP usually isn't that bad, so I have to give them a little bit of love for that. But in Paris, protesters blocked roads, lit blazes, and were met with volleys of tear gas on Wednesday in Paris and elsewhere in France. Well, Paris, and I will say they're always up in an uproar in Paris. I mean, my wife and I, whenever we first got to, same way with Italy, they're always like having some sort of like, you know, political, you know, upheaval. It's just it was Italy that I remember, yeah, because we were in Rome. And I think it was some sort of pride event or something. I don't know. But, you know, people were, you know, getting all upset and angry. And so they had changed and rerouted all the traffic. We had a mass riot at church. They ran out of sacrificial lines, Stephen. Well, I mean, that does happen, you know, especially whenever Father, whatever his Father O'Connery or whatever, he gets a little bit of, you know, in the middle of the day. President Macron, by attempting to give his prime minister a baptism of fire. Well, the government's interior ministry announced 250 arrests in the first hours of what was planned a day of nationwide demonstrations to get Macron budget cuts and other complaints. Oh, well, like I said, this doesn't sound abnormal. Zach. Stacy, how you doing? The government's interior ministry announced 250 arrests in the first hours of what was planned nationwide. Oh, although falling short of its self-declared intention to block everything, the protest movement that started online over the summer. It took a whole summer to get like a protest together. That started online over the summer caused widespread hotspots of disruption, defying a exceptional deployment of 80,000 police who broke up barricades and swiftly made arrests. Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau said that the bus was set on fire in western city of Rennes in southwest fire, and I'm probably saying these names wrong because I don't speak French. Fire damage to electrical cables stopped train service on one line and disrupted traffic on another. Government transport authorities say the protest appears so far to be less intense than previous bouts of unrest that have sporadically rocked Macron in both his first and ongoing second term as president. They included months of nationwide so-called yellow vest demonstrations against economic injustice. Now, I don't know about the yellow vest demonstrations, but, you know, if it's what I think it is, that's the French people for you. Yeah, I know. Tell the French they have to work 40 hours and they'll flip out. I know. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, we talked to a guy that was in France, and he was, which I didn't know this, but it's like Paris is sort of broken up in a bunch of like smaller boroughs kind of things. It's sort of like New York is. It like has its own little sections. And he says some of these people don't ever even leave this area. Like they just stay in this area. They work in this area. They live in this area. They eat in this area. And he said France, you know, Paris is one of like the worst places for what is it? Like basically like free healthcare and because unemployment's so low right there. You know, everybody wants to live in the city. You are French too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, they get a little upset sometimes against economic injustice in 2018 and 2019. Well, that was 2018, 2019. Who was it that was there? Oh, yeah. Macron faced firestorms of anger over unpopular pension reforms. Yep, see, there you go. Pension reforms. They're taking away our pensions. Well, a nationwide unrest and rioting 23 after deadly police shooting of a teenager on the outskirts of Paris. Well, nevertheless, demonstrations and sporadic clashes with riot police in Paris and elsewhere Wednesday added to a sense of crisis that has again gripped France following the latest government collapse on Monday when Prime Minister Francois Bayrou lost a parliamentary confidence vote. So someone lost a vote and people rioted. Okay. Does this sound familiar? It sounds familiar. More than likely, it wasn't as big of a deal. Looked like someone kicked over some trash cans down here. They got very upset and said, I will kick over a trash can and make a mess of your city. Well, it looks like they're all recycling cans, too. I mean, I don't know. I don't see the big recycling symbol on them, but I do get a kick out of those. Macron was installing a new prime minister, Sebastian, on Tuesday, and protest immediately presented him with a challenge. A group of protesters repeatedly tried to block Paris's beltway during the morning rush hour and were dispersed by police and tear gas elsewhere in the capital. Protesters piled up trash cans, hurled objects at police officers. I'm throwing my pencil at you. Yeah, that could be it. That also the French. That could be it. Around 100 others were taken to police custody. Where elsewhere in France, according to the Interior Ministry count, road blockers, traffic slowdowns, and other protesters were widely spread. You know, sort of like a woman in waiting. From the southern port of the city of Marseille to Lille to Caen in the north, and Nantes, Rennes, and west to Grenoble and Lyon in the south. I think it's Lyon, but I can never remember if those names are correct. With France gripped by a prolonged cycle of instability, where minority governments installed by Macron have lurched from crisis to crisis, the movement also had support from the people who didn't protest. There's lots of weariness, shared weariness, a lot of frustration that things aren't moving forward, said Lila, the Paris office worker who asked that her family name not be published. That, in part, explains these blockades and this generalized unhappiness. Some criticized the disruptions, and they said it's a bit excessive, said Bertrand Rivard, an accounting worker on his way to a meeting in Paris. We live in a democracy. Well, what have we said about democracy? There's a very, very important saying that we've had to say multiple times about a democracy.
Democracy is a form of government based upon the principle of majority rule, period. End of discussion. Now, that's not very complicated. Majority rule. It's easy to understand, easy to sell to the masses, and I might add, deadly. For example, what would you call a lynch mob? That's majority rule. There's only one dissenting vote, and he's at the end of the rope. Now, that's pure democracy in action. But wait a minute, you say. The majority should rule, yes, but not to the extent of destroying the rights of the minority. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer describing a democracy. We are speaking of a republic. A republic is a limited democracy. It's a form of government based upon the principle of limited majority rule. Limited so that the minority, even a minority of one, can be protected against the whims and passions of the majority. And how do you protect the minority from the majority? You write down a set of rules on a piece of paper. You say, this we can do, that we cannot. At the top of the paper, you write the word Constitution. And then everyone agrees to follow the rules no matter what the temptation. And when you're finished, you've created a constitutional republic.
Mm-hmm. Simple as that. The bloke on tout or block everything is a movement gathered momentum over the summer on social media and encrypted chats, and it called for a day. And just so you guys know, there are no encrypted chats. there's everyone thinks, oh, I'm encrypted. No, you're not. You're not. Just think about who created the encryption. Yeah, do you think they don't have the keys to that and can't get a hold of it? I mean, I believe France is at Sixth Republic, and then someone in government said rules are meant to be broken. That's true. That's true. That's what happens. Lecornu, the prime minister, I'm probably getting these names wrong. The new prime minister who previously served as minister of defense now inherits the task of addressing France's budget difficulties. Well, is it actually France's budget difficulties or just Paris's? Because I mean, I saw some pretty interesting stuff. Like, and I'll use this as an example. Met this lovely lady. She has a goat farm out in the countryside, and it's a beautiful goat farm. If you ever go to Paris, just look up cashmere goats, and she'll probably be at the top of the list. Okay. and she raises goats for their cashmere wool, so that way she can sell it. And she also sells the goats. And she was asking us, "You sure you don't want to buy some?" She had a lot of them. And she's got them separated out, the males and the females, during, like, she has them marked whenever they actually, they're in heat, that kind of thing, to make sure that they don't get knocked up, and so she doesn't have more goats. I mean, she had what do they call them, the Grand Parisian, or the giant freaking dogs, big white dogs. They're pretty cool. But she was talking about, they used to not have a problem with wolves, and wolves have become more prolific there. And what she was explaining is back, early on, a lot of people started moving out of the countryside because they were making it really difficult on farmers, and part of it had to do with the EU, made it really difficult on farmers to sort of upkeep farms. People didn't want to work there. Pyrenees, yeah, thank you, Great Pyrenees. And so she was explaining, that they came in and they basically started tearing down these fences that people had put up, like stone walls. And whenever they did, it allowed more freedom of movement. And so, and also because people had sort of moved out of the countryside, and a family owned the Hope Diamond. Oh, that's awesome, Kippy. I had a chance to go see the Hope Diamond, but didn't go. Crazy story. But anyhow, so it started, the whole place started turning into a complete, overrun with a lot of deer. And because people weren't like hunting them, because there was restrictions on hunting deer and all this kind of crap, their population sort of boomed up. And then the wolves came in because, well, free food. I mean, they could eat and live happy, and they ended up like overdoing it. Don't sell one to Valhalla; he'll eat it. Just look at what he did. Damn it, MG, stop it! He did not. Saw it at the Smithsonian. That's awesome. So it ended up getting so overgrown in that area. Oh, this lady was cool. I could tell you another story about her in a second. But the wolves came in, and they started, for people like her, it made it difficult, so she has to pay closer attention because there'll be a lot of wolves. And she actually had, the reason I brought that up is she had one of her Pyrenees was in pretty bad shape. It got tangled up in a wolf attack. I mean, it won, but it got tangled up in a wolf attack. It was in really bad shape, and she said that's why they started having them. And it was funny because she was talking about the EU coming in and mandating France to remove these things because they wanted to get it back to nature. And they paid a lot of money to have all of these walls and fences removed. And I think it was a couple of years prior to that, the EU came in and started paying for people to put up the walls because it was the erosion was getting really bad. They didn't realize that these farmers actually, had been farming this land for generations, sort of knew what was going on, and trying to keep their land protected. It wasn't to really keep people out. It just had a lot to do with, keeping it look really good. Good morning from the land of y'all, MG. Yeah. I'm not saying nothing about Alabama. There's got to be some really angry Alabama fans after last Saturday. Not big enough for her finger. Okay, story about her. She was like one of the only people. And I believe she's an American by birth, but she's been living in France for like decades. And she raises cashmere goats. And she was talking about back whenever things were a little more stable, like in the Middle East, she would hand deliver these goats over to places. What do you call it? You sort of want to call them third world countries, like like the nations of like Islam stuff. And she said it was really cool that, you know, she would take these over there because she would have like hundreds, you know, that she would deliver on a regular basis. And they paid good money to get these cashmere goats because, you know, you can all the cashmere actually comes whenever they're like shedding. And you just basically brush it out, and that's how you get that like really soft fur. It's pretty cool. They said it's not as big as they thought it would be. They all said, I thought it would be bigger. Oh, you guys. Oh, anyhow, that's it. That's all I had to say. Just cool stories. The Battle of Lake Erie, how grit sank a fleet. The incredible true story of Oliver Hazard Perry victory. September 10th marks the anniversary of one of America's most audacious and forgotten victories, the Battle of Lake Erie. 212 years ago, a 28-year-old commander changed history with such an improbable story that Hollywood wouldn't bother writing the script. Couldn't you imagine the pitch? Help me out here. Use your best Hollywood movie narrator voice and read the following. A young officer arrives at a frontier harbor with no ships, no seasoned crews, and almost no ready resources. He cuts down trees, builds bridges in record time. Cannons are hauled over swampy roads. Drags ships over sandbars using giant wooden floats. Trains farmers and militia into fighting sailors. Hoists the battle flag, stitched with dying friends' words. Loses his flagship to a bloody shootout, rows his flag while taking fire to another vessel, and captures an entire British squadron in a single afternoon. Well, would any producer believe it? Dollars to donuts, they're a younger breed of producer. I would bet no. And I could easily provide the reasons, which most likely would be valid, ending it with it sounding like it was cooked up by a drunken writer who's forgotten how the world works, yet it happened. Oliver Hazard Perry's victory on September 10th, 1813 stunned the globe, securing America's northwest frontier. Fleet was born in the wilderness. Back in the day, the men who lived and fished around the Great Lakes circa 1760 to 1811 were as rough and ready as their work environment and, you know, demanded. They smelled like pine pitch, swore in phrases salty enough to varnish a hull, and could tie a knot faster than they could count to 10. They weren't polished or prim and feared no man in a fight. But when certain sudden gales screamed out of nowhere, even the boldest would cross themselves, because a storm on the Great Lakes would sink pride faster than any British broadside. That was the world Oliver Hazard Perry stepped into when he was set about building his fleet. Crews without uniforms, because sailors were hard to find back in the backwoods. Perry needed to fill his rosters with farmers, militia, freedmen, and even detachments from General William Henry Harrison's army. It was a rare find locating anybody who ever worked on a rigging or fired a naval gun. However, Perry drilled them day after day until they became a fighting unit. Britain had professionals with decades at sea. America had a patchwork of men with much, much less experience at sea, but with grit. Grit was enough. When his flagship was complete, Perry raised a blue flag stitched with the dying words of his good friend Captain James Lawrence, "Don't give up the ship." That flag wasn't just a decoration, it was a vow. On September 10th, 1813, his men kept it. Cannons roared near South Bass Island, opening the battle. Because the cannons Perry brought to battle packed a tremendous punch, but only at a short range. He needed to close quickly. Lawrence proved she had a strong jaw after British long guns fired first and kept hammering her relentlessly for 2 hours. But every ship can take only so much. Cannonballs shredded sails, smashed guns, cut men down. By the time Perry admitted the Lawrence was finished, blood soaked her decks and nearly every weapon lay silent. Our entire script idea, because there's real fear in the rolled eyes sticking to the skull, gets thrown out the window because any director worth a lick of salt would fight to film it. Break out the Hollywood movie narrator voice and read the following, because it's honestly an incredible act of heroism. Perry, the American commander, gathered a handful of sailors, lowered a small boat, rolled his flag a half-mile while under enemy fire towards Niagara. A young commander standing tall in an open boat rigged straight into history. Switching flagships mid-battle was almost unheard of, but when the young Perry performed that task while under enemy fire, marked him forever. Perry assumed control once he boarded Niagara and ordered the supporting schooners to move closer to the British, then drove Niagara through the British formation. Meanwhile, the collision between two British ships, Detroit and Queen Charlotte, created a greater sense of chaos on the British side. Because the British commanders were dead or wounded, bedlam broke out. Perry's guns, fresh guns, repeatedly shot into the broken units until, one by one, all British vessels struck their colors. The same fleet that had pounded Perry's flagship, the Lawrence, into silence now surrendered. On the back of an envelope, Perry scrawled his victory note. "We have met the enemy, and they ours. 2 ships, 2 brigs, 1 schooner, 1 sloop." That simple sentence did more than share news that a battle was won. It became a mic drop in our country's history. The words became steel. There's an author's notes. For me, 2 stories of individual American history are begging to be shared. Oliver Hazard Perry and Henry Knox. Both stories display men in charge overcoming nature's challenges. The words became steel. It announced that America owned Lake Erie. America would retake Detroit, and over time it announced the news that British power in the Northwest would crumble. And weeks later, at the Battle of I'm going to say Thames, which is probably wrong, Harrison's troops routed the British Naval Alliance. The Tushkin's death and the battle reshaped the frontier. I got a cough. All right, I'm back. The Battle of Lake Erie reminds us that Perry's triumph is just a page in naval history. It's a fantastic story of leadership, grit, and daring that defied belief. If you watch Game of Thrones, then it's easier to soak in every element, from the shipbuilding to the engineering miracle, the blood-soaked flagship having a rowboat shot at your ass and shattering the enemy's line. All of it seems like a Hollywood climax of all time, except all of it's true. There's so many acts of virtue and heroism in American history that no single Hollywood director promises to tell them all. Character is what you do when nobody is looking. What Oliver Hazard Perry accomplished in a war that shamefully and most forgotten simply doesn't hold up against its current standards. It's what helped write our current standards. Good morning, a bit late here. No, you're just right on time. Good to see you, Southern Red Sox girl. You're a bit late, but you're still on time. It's amazing how that works out. I've got a dog attacking my feet. Stop it. Stop it. I'm trying to get him away from my feet. He's trying to attack my feet. No, I am not going to let you kill me today. Good to see you. Mama Cuddles, Debbie Webb. Good to see ya. I hope you're doing well. Yes. Mama. Well, I'm going to go grab myself another cup of coffee because we only have about another 30 minutes before I actually have to get my happy ass to work. You know how that goes. So I am going to get, I think it's a time that you guys just get a little wiggle in your step. How's that? Just a little wiggle. Okay.
I think you misunderstood me. I said you need to give Elmo 2 test tickles before shipping.
Ah, test tickles? I thought you said...
You like what you see, baby?
Time to shine. I'm feeling the groove with these hips of mine. Hands in the air like spaghetti gone rogue. My knees are jelly and my hips just broke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. My shoulders pop like a rusty hinge. My fingers point like they're on a binge. Twirl like a tornado, then drop real low. It's not planned, it's a shit sideshow. I've got the rhythm of a clock that's broke. My dance floor moves are a big effing joke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. step up or stay undecided. Wig like a lava lamp, mesmerizing glow. You can't help but watch me steal the show. I summon the shake, the shimmy, the twist, a mix of genius and a big old fist. You're drawn in close, your feet start to twitch, feeling the groove like a broke-ass bitch. Yeah, shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Now we're all in the shake, no need to be shy. Move like spaghetti and reach for the sky. We'll dance like we're cursed, laugh till we're sore. Shizzy whiz nut reigns forevermore. So join the dance, let your weirdness unfurl. We're shaking ass, not a care in the world.
Add the hoop girl to this. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I mean, she's got some moves. She's got some moves. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. But the thing is, with the hoop girl, she does, with her doing the hoop, it's such a long routine, and it's so cool to watch that it's almost better to let that music sort of like speak for itself. Because I mean, you just can't. It's such a beautiful display of skill. Okay, so we got this right here, and this is by Stephen Cruz here. He does these morning briefings, and if you haven't subscribed to PJ Media, it's more of a conservative slant. You don't have to agree with it, but they do have some good stories and some really good writers. It's good stuff, and it's usually pretty cheap. So I will tell you, I've found that it's much more reliable than AP. AP has gotten so many things wrong because they're looking at this really weird slant. And I mean, I don't care if it's a conservative rag or a liberal rag, just at least tell the story right. I mean, come on. And not saying that everybody's going to get it right all the time, but geez, AP just like boils my buttons. On top of the briefing, happy Wednesday. This is a cruiser morning briefing. It didn't take long after January 20th of this year for evidence of all that we knew was wrong during Joe Biden's sham presidency start trickling in. That trickle soon turned into a flood of proof that was just as awful as we thought it was, if not worse. And he says he hasn't written a lot about it because, honestly, my Biden fatigue was already pretty bad. Oh, boy. Super Bowl Sunday 2021. The American people need to keep being reminded of just what an elaborate scam the entire Biden presidency was. However, I get around scribbling about drooling nightmare from time to time. It's staggering to ponder the totality of President Joe Biden's lie. Even for those of us who chronicled the entire thing, it began during the primaries when the Dems flying monkeys and the mainstream media created Joseph Robinette Biden, who never existed. He'd always been one of the most divisive people in American politics, a real nasty piece of work. If you don't remember, just look at what he did to Clarence Thomas. Need I say more? Yeah, he had a propensity to say some pretty racist shit too. Just saying. If you know that Joe Biden was this old tottering guy, but you don't remember the Biden whenever I was growing up, the crap that he pulled. Whew. He'd always been one of the most divisive people in American politics. A really nasty piece of work. The MSN hacks turned him into a kindly grandpa who was going to read the electorate bedtime stories after he got Orange Man Bad out of the White House. Oh, they told everyone he was a centrist too, despite his previous 8-year stint as vice president under an exceedingly radical Barack Obama. Biden may actually have been a moderate Democrat when he began his stint at the Lightbringers Veep, but modern Democrats ceased to exist after 8 years of that. Once they made all of that up, it was easy to keep faking it. He was just as sharp as attack. He was brilliant at foreign policy, and Biden's economy was roaring. Yeah, about that last bit. For 4 years, Joe Biden bragged about presiding over the strongest economy in history. He propped up his narrative when the return of jobs after the coup shutdown and falsely claimed his policies created them. Even liberal outlets admitted he was padding the numbers, but Biden never stopped repeating the lie. Now, the lie has officially collapsed. The Bureau of Labor Statistics just confirmed what President Trump has been saying all along. Biden's strong economy was nothing but smoke and mirrors. On Monday, the BLS issued the largest downturn revision in its history, wiping out nearly 1 million jobs, 911,000 to be exact. And that's not a minor correction. That's proof that Biden's economic record wasn't just exaggerated. It was a fraud from the start. It was imperative for the mainstream media drones to prop up Biden no matter how much they had to provocate. They knew that what they were doing too, despite their many protestations about being in the dark about all that was wrong with Joe Biden, all that went awry during his time in office. Democrats really do believe that all Americans are stupid. That's why right now they're telling us that crime really isn't bad in Chicago. The DNC power brokers and their media wing thought that they could fabricate all of Joe Biden's achievements from the whole of his presidency, and the rubes and the hinterlands would never find out. As I'm fond of saying, Democrats act as if none of us has heard of the internet. The hard sell on Biden's economy was really over the top. Paul Krugman hadn't retired from the New York Times, so was constantly churning out columns that all essentially boiled down to pay no attention to your financial struggles. You're just too stupid to know how well the economy is doing. Variations on that theme were echoed throughout the mainstream media. Residency at Brandon's. Yeah, I do remember watching my food prices go double, then triple, and then quadruple over that same period of time. It got ridiculous. And it hasn't gotten much better under Trump, just saying. Everything still costs a freaking arm and a leg. So don't say that I'm thinking that Trump did a really good job. Just saying. Fortunately, the economy can be fixed. A lot of damage that Biden can, but there's just so much of the toxic combination of pudding brain president, American hating commie cabal working in his stead, wrought a lot of havoc. The taxes made more difficult when each problem turns out to be even worse than originally thought. Let's hope there aren't any more surprises for a while, and let's hope forever. But that's the craziness, isn't it? The culture war, distraction from issues that matter more. When the multinational corporations began sponsoring pride parades in the middle of the last decade, the U.S. State Department began flying pride flags from its embassies the world over. I, perhaps like many people, were perplexed. What important interest does Goldman Sachs have in advancing homosexuality? I asked myself. What diplomatic purpose does displaying fidelity to a weird sexual fetish subculture serve? And ditto with BLM and the summer of love and the third wave feminism. What an odd marriage, corporate America and Antifa. Does anyone actually believe some coked up C-suit Wall Street executive actually cares about a dead Minneapolis junkie? Black or not. Upon reflection, there are probably several reasons that corporations and governments are interested in these various social engineering schemes. The infiltration of the diversity, equity, inclusion, blackmail grift into the faucet of every society. Give me cash or I'll tell everyone you're a racist, but chief among them, in my estimation, is the ancient strategy of divide and conquer. Perfect by the British Empire hundreds of years ago and supercharged by modern mass media propaganda. Basically, finding a wedge issues, i.e. culture war footholds, and then pitting the various factions against one another is highly effective for A, distracting from the issues the ruling class would rather go untouched, and B, maintaining the facade of democracy and robust public debate without ever broaching issues that might unite the populace against an abusive and treacherous ruling class. Let's look at the transgenderism phenomenon as a microcosm of the culture war and what is potentially distracts from it. Of course, there's a clear social element at play, the trans contagion, or perhaps there's a biological one as well. And Alex Jones caught a lot of flack back in the day, but this bombastic, they're turning the freaking frogs gay. They're turning the frogs gay. But it turns out he was entirely accurate about the very endocrine disrupting effects of atrazine, not to mention BPH and 1,000 other chemicals we're steeped in, likely to extend humans as well. Well, so here's direct physical phenomena in the real world, independent of whatever social engineering schemes, that it's very likely to contribute to the explosion of the so-called transgenderism among kids. Campaigning to go get hormone-wrecking chemicals out of the water and food supply would, is the same world be at least front and center as the debate over the transgender bathroom or boys taking over girls sports. But it isn't, probably because endocrine and disruptors and their psychological effects are both more complicated to understand and less salacious than bathroom trannies. And focusing on the latter doesn't threaten giant agricultural interests that have stranglehold on American politics. Apply that same framework to the political discourse as a whole, and we have a pretty good model for why the culture war is so popular. Politicians on both sides of the aisle are more happy to fan the flames of the culture war because social issues are lower stakes than the ones that matter most to their donors, the economic. Not being blameless myself, I admittedly devoted a lot of attention to the culture war because, one, it's low-hanging fruit. Two, it's interesting from a sociological perspective. And three, it isn't totally inconsequential. So I'm throwing rocks from glass houses, but maybe we should just rethink our priorities. It's interesting how that works out, isn't it? Stephen Bear, ramen is delicious. It's a comfort food to me. I ate a lot and I still struggle. I still eat ramen to remember where I came from. Ramen is a staple in my home. I'm telling you, I do the same. What's really cool is, being a broke-ass musician, one of the best parts about it is you learn how to make some pretty interesting meals. And ramen was definitely a staple. Especially whenever you would have a few roommates, you could get a case of ramen and pick up like a pound of like some ground sausage or ground beef or whatever your flavor is, some sriracha sauce, maybe some veggies, and you make some like little sausage balls, or you get some chicken, whatever you wanted to. You cut that stuff up, add it to that ramen, and you had a meal for lots of people. I mean, the amount of things I did with ramen was insane. I remember telling my wife one day, she was just like, I want something different for dinner. I was like, huh? I said, I'm going to make you the cheapest dinner that you've probably ever eaten. And she was in college. She was just like, yeah, sure. I spent a total of $3 and I fed us for 3 days. I joked on. She was like, you've got to be kidding me. And it was good. She enjoyed it. Having ramen at 2 a.m. at night, that tastes great. Yeah. After a night out, yeah, it's wonderful. Stand behind the gay rights movement. I'm not sure who's going to stand. I'm not sure I'm going to stand it. That's good. That's good. That's the thing, is I don't care what your sexual preference is. That I've always sort of viewed that as, what goes on in your bedroom is fine, just as long as it's fine with you. It doesn't matter to me, just as long as kids aren't involved and I don't have to see it. Do you or whoever. I like Sarah Anderson. I love this. This story is pretty funny. Trump tries to take his boys to dinner. Liberal white women try to ruin it. Well, President Donald Trump did something a bit unusual Tuesday night. He loaded up some of his team, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and took them out for a very public dinner at downtown Washington, D.C. Apparently, other VIPs were in attendance, including some White House staff, Susie Wiles, and Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt, but I only confirmed the three men with my own eyes. I just wanted to state that before someone gets all huffy about my headline. The group went to Joe's Seafood, a prime steak and stone crab, which is located just northeast of the White House. And a mix of reporters, fans, and protesters greeted them outside. Of course, this wasn't just a social outing. The president wanted to make a point about the crime turnaround in D.C. since he sent the National Guard to patrol the streets in August. On his way to the restaurant, the president stopped to address reporters gathered outside. I want to take some of the members of the cabinet out to dinner, and here we are. We're standing in the middle of D.C. It's a great D.C., which you know about. Over the last few years was a very unsafe place. Over the last 20 years, actually, it was very unsafe, but now it's virtually got no crime. I've done so well. I'm going to glad hand myself. He also said people are going out to dinner where they didn't go for years. Here's a video of their arrival right here. Now, video of their arrival. I mean, it's easy when you got Secret Service blocking everything off. Oh. Yeah. They're bisexual. If it's sexual, I'll give it an answer.
Here we are, we're standing right in the middle of D.C., which, as you know about, over the last year was a very unsafe place. Over the last 20 years, actually, it was very unsafe. And now it's got virtually no crime. Well, crime for to be announced.
Yeah, see, various videos on social media now show the president's staff shaking hands and chatting with some of the restaurant's other diners, but it wasn't exactly the peaceful outing they'd probably hoped for. No, there wasn't any crime committed or anything like that, but a group of what appears to be liberal white women disrupted the president's dinner, and everyone else who was there trying to enjoy a meal with some sort of free Palestine nonsense. It's not clear how these gals got inside, but once they did, they shouted, "Free DC, free Palestine, Trump, Hitler." They were holding what appears to be homemade banners with a Palestinian flag on them in the air. The president walked right up to them, smiled, and seemingly nodded his head along with their chants, completely unfazed, before asking security to see them out. I've watched these videos so many times.
Enjoy your dinner. Thank you.
He just walks up to him. Trump was attacked last night at a restaurant. There it is. He just walks right up to him.
Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine.
He's like, get him out of here. Get in trouble with HR. How many children do you have? Answer 3, one of each. Does he have any other color of ties? Well, yeah, he does. He's worn other colored ties, but you know, he's doing an outing. He's got it. He's got his own little grift. You know that. You know he's got his own little grift. Oh. Yeah, this is, you know, could you imagine going into a really nice place and acting a fool like this? Like, can you imagine how annoying that would be, whether he was there or not? Can you imagine having a nice dinner out with your significant other, and you're sitting there and you're like, I think I'll have the vegetarian salad, or you know, steak, or whatever it is that you're having, your rice and beans. I don't know. Maybe you're having shrimp scampi. And you're sitting there, you're out on a date. Maybe it's your anniversary, you know, and you're just wanting to kick back, and then you get this group of Karens that come running in there and start screaming shit like this. You know, it wouldn't matter what they were screaming. They can be saying, you know, lower taxes or whatever the hell it is. You know, there's a time and a place to do it. This isn't the time. This isn't the place. So, you know, I can understand why, you know, these people got their phones out. It's like, oh, this is, they're just going.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day.
That's what's going through their mind at this point in time. They're just like, you've got to be kidding me.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Let's go.
Time to go.
Like, clear them out.
Time to go.
They want free DC. I'm wondering if they're talking about. Never mind. We won't say that.
Time to go.
He was welcomed here. He's terrorizing communities.
Let's go. Time to go.
He terrorizing communities
Time to go. Time to
all
go.
over the world.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Free DC.
Free DC. Oh, free DC.
Of our time. He's not welcome to DC. He's not welcome to Palestine. Palestine is not free DC. Free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Your legacy is genocide.
Your legacy is genocide of what? Okay, I'm sorry. You got it wrong there, sweet cheeks. But you know, the more people do this, the more people act a fool like this, the closer it gets to people ignoring what they have to say. It's that whole cry wolf thing. I mean, we've seen this kind of crap happen multiple times. You know, people get all up in arms over things, and usually becomes that point where people are just like, you know what, even if you do have a point, I'm so sick of hearing it that I don't want to hear it anymore. You know, that becomes the biggest problem with this. And then whenever there actually is a real crisis, nobody wants to live them. Yeah, they want free DC. That's what it is. Free direct current. I mean, we saw what was it? What was that Edison did with DC? Oof. Man, why aren't these women covering their heads? And where are their male escorts? I don't understand. Do they not understand?
DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the...
All 5 women are out there screaming on the street. Several people reporting that these women were members of Code Pink, whoever they were. Surely they could find better things to do with their time. Seriously, get a life. Anyways, there's a video of the warm reception from the president received from the restaurants actually paying customers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a safe city now. Great job.
Yeah. According to Leavitt, Trump enjoyed a meal of crab, shrimp, steak, salad, and a dessert. He returned to the White House around 10 p.m. Amazing. Free one-way ticket to Palestine for them. Yeah, I mean, that would be a worthy cause. Like, you know, if you really want it like that, let's go see how they treat you there whenever you have your own opinion, because you're not allowed to have that opinion anymore. Oh, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. Okay, I'm giving you guys a warning, a heads up. Okay, giving you a total warning. It's a complete heads up for you, and it's going to get me in trouble. I know it's going to get me in trouble because of the visuals, but I have found the most glorious video this morning. So I didn't know Trump was an artist. Didn't know that either. They were 3 burkas already away from being just too ugly. All right, this is your little palate cleanser. In case you guys don't remember the whole movie, The Titanic, you should know that this is AI. Okay, just so you know. Now I don't play the music. The perfect love. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, the the music made it all that much better, but I couldn't play couldn't play the music. Couldn't play the music. And I did talk about this the other day. You remember the whole Phillies fan thing? Well, I found an up close video of the Phillies ball thief here. They got so upset. I showed that to someone the other day. Oh. Now, this will probably get me in trouble for the music, but it's going to be totally worth it. Okay? This is totally worth it. Here we go. I did not do this. I swear I did not do this. I did not do this. I swear I did not make this. That was awesome though. That is awesome. Well, it looks like a badger to me, no skunk. No, that was that critical drinker posted that up on the Twitter, and I'm gonna repost it because it's awesome. Just make sure that you check that out. Oh, that was pretty damn awesome. Oh, the honey badger. Hey, no, they called it a skunk. Notice I didn't have any next generation cast. It didn't, Diane. It didn't have any of the next generation cast. Honey badger don't give a fuck. No, it doesn't. Now, if that gets me in trouble, I'm sorry, but that was pretty awesome. I love having those kinds of little things to show you guys. Everybody everybody. This is what mornings should be like. Fun and quite enjoyable, and the crazy stress of the day. I mean, we're halfway through the week. You know, it's going to be an amazing day. We're gonna find out like what happens in today's new what the hell saga stuff. Oh my gosh, I am sure that the memes are just floating out there, and it's going to be another crazy day. You know there's going to be. I love the honey badger videos, all narrated. I love doing this stuff, and I'm working on a new video. So maybe, I mean, I've right now, and I'll tell you, there's going to be a new one that's going to be open to the public to see. Right now it's just for members only, but that one's going to drop for everyone to be able to see tomorrow, and then there will be another one just for members only. It's hump day, I know. Got to do a little bit more humping. But in case you haven't seen it, there's the video "My Child Ain't Your T-Shirt," and the next one out there is called "The Lemon Hamper Blues." It's not even a blues song, so don't be thrown off by it. I don't think there's a single blues or country song in any of these at all. But those will be come popping out for you, and then I do have one that I've shown you part of it, but that'll be out on Halloween. That'll be out on Halloween, and I may do the wonderful thing of sharing some older videos, that have worked out and have been pretty cool. I've been having fun with the AI videos. They're so much fun. If you haven't checked those out, a lot of them you'll see whenever you're members only. And I do have like the highest tier membership, and nobody has ever bothered with it. And I suggest you don't. It's not worth the money. It was done as a mockery, in case you guys don't know. And I'm full of sarcasm, spit and fire today. Let's see, who do we got coming up here? It looks like we've got Mo in the deep end. I'm going to send all you fine folks over there. Show Mo some love. I'm not sure if I'm hoping, because she wasn't feeling top of the day yesterday, but we'll see if she's up for doing some co-burger tonight. And if so, we got some more files we'll be doing with the co-burgers tonight over on Mo's channel, and then Thursday morning won't be doing a stream Thursday morning, but Thursday night I'm sure with all the craziness going on. Also, somebody was telling me that they weren't getting notifications. Make sure you got the notification bell on. If you don't have it on, he said, even with that, sometimes you've got stuff that you don't even realize it, because YouTube asshole, and they keep screwing with stuff and changing it. So, just check your settings, make sure that you've got that stuff up on there. Also, I think I watched a little bit of Tug and Megan last night, and they were saying that they've been stripping people of their views. If you're not interacting, they're not putting it down as a view. So, all you got to do is like hit a thumbs up, interact with it, put something in the comments. I mean, it can be sarcastic, nasty, whatever. I don't care. Just have a little fun with it. Just don't attack people. Just let's have a good time with this crap. I mean, it's YouTube, for Christ's sakes. It's not the end of the world. Well, maybe it is. Maybe the rapture has already happened back in '92. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody have a wonderful day. We'll see you tonight over on Mo's if everything works out good. Night, y'all.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news. he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.